Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Thursday, August 12th, 2021. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So make sure you focus on what is good. It does not benefit you to focus on your situations and circumstances that are not good. So focus on what is good and keep a smile on your face. If you are out there traveling about, make sure that you are wearing your mask and using your hand sanitizer. We are still in the middle of a pandemic, sadly, and we must all do our part to protect ourselves. I always remind you of that because I care. Well, Jaki Draper is here today, and we are going to discuss disloyalty. But also, I want to remind you, if you would like to donate to the podcast, you can donate at $SB Favor at Cash App. I appreciate that. We are going to discuss disloyalty. Why do people cheat? Why are people disloyal when they desire for someone to be loyal to them? So that's what we're going to talk about. How you doing, Jaki?
I'm doing wonderful. It's another great day here in Tampa Bay.
Yes, it is. How was your day?
Great. I had a great day. Very productive.
Yeah, me too. As I was telling you earlier, I'm trying to calm down a little bit. My adrenaline is moving around because I was running around the house before we got started. But we're going to talk about disloyalty. What comes to your mind when you think about the word disloyalty?
Well, initially I think of romantic relationships, but friendships also. Mm-hmm. You know, those are the first two things that pop into my head with disloyalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are the people that are closest to us, our closest friends, and our romantic relationships. And they're the people that we expect the most of. So there's the biggest danger of a lack of loyalty in those areas.
Yeah, disloyalty. When I think about disloyalty, I think about commitment. Someone that should be in a committed situation. They're not. Someone that should be dedicated, someone that should be faithful, but they're not. And so that's what I think about when I think about disloyalty. All of those things, they should be all those things, but they're not. Disloyalty to self. I was thinking about that, and I mentioned that to you earlier. You know, I was thinking about being disloyal to yourself has to do with getting revenge when someone has been disloyal to you. You know, what do you think of that?
I think you can also be disloyal to yourself when you have your own personal goals and personal agenda to complete, and you don't get it done. You don't fulfill your own commitments to yourself.
I like that.
When you were talking about commitment, that's your commitments to yourself.
I like that. I like that a whole lot. Yeah. Loyalty has many benefits because we all desire that, you know, friends, family members, romantic relationships, we all desire loyalty. We desire that. That's just our human nature. We want someone to be faithful and dedicated and committed to us, right? And so when someone is disloyal to us, sometimes, unfortunately, person that experiences the disloyalty, they become something else sometimes, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the word revenge. They become, they want to get revenge. And so they become, instead of them remaining the good person that they are, they become something else like, oh, I'm going to get them back. And then even after they may, commit their revenge, they are what I call spoiled, meaning like they become something that they're not. What do you think of that? You know, somebody that was mistreated and then now they're no longer the nice person. So they become disloyal to themselves in that order. What do you think of that?
Well, anytime you're experiencing some sort of betrayal, you close off yourself to others.
Right.
You're afraid to be vulnerable with people.
Right.
You can't have a healthy relationship, a close relationship with someone if you cannot experience vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly, because that type of betrayal, it causes a person to just not trust. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, can I ask you, have you ever, without naming any names, anything in your life, you want to tell me about a time where someone was disloyal to you? And you know, I want to be candid, and I'm going to share something too.
Well, I have definitely battled with post-betrayal syndrome.
Oh.
I have had people in my life they have 5 people in my life that I trust more than anything in the world, and 2 of them at the same exact time betrayed me.
Wow.
Yes, it was awful. It dominoed into I don't know, about 8 years of not very healthy behavior.
Wow.
Towards my relationships with other people, and towards all kinds of things. It reflected in my professional life at work. It reflected in the way I interacted with other friends and my family members and my children. It reflected in every aspect of my life.
So because
but when you are severely betrayed, you have to work through there's a process to it, just like any loss.
Right. So basically what you're saying is that when you were betrayed, because of what happened to you, it made your behavior different.
Absolutely, 100%.
You wasn't your
Extremely
best
different.
self. Okay.
I was not even anywhere close to being my best self.
Wow. Yeah. And that's
not anywhere close to it.
Yeah.
For years.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've been through something similar where 2 people I trusted, they had a conversation. I don't know how I found out about it because it was more than 20 years ago, but I found out about the conversation, and they both basically shared some things that were true and not true. So basically they had a conversation, and they were trying to just like rip me to shreds, so to speak, to be honest about it, when I think about the whole situation. And so anyway, long story short, once I found out about it, I had to think. I said, okay, how am I going to deal with this? Should I forgive this person? Should I cut both of them off? Because it wasn't, I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't like real bad. It was just words, right? Words and lies. So I was young, much younger. And so that being said, I kept a distance, but then as time went by, I forgave them, but I had to examine myself in the moment because, like I said earlier, when someone mistreats you, it's easy to become what I call spoiled. Not spoiled when somebody's giving you everything they want. The other spoiled. Spoiled meaning messed up. You know what I mean? You become rotten.
Rotten.
Yeah.
We said that together. Right.
Yeah. So I had to, so in that moment when that happened to me, I said, okay, I need to examine myself here, right? Because I always felt like if somebody do you wrong and you become less than what you were before, you're basically giving power to that person. My mom, she taught us, make sure you treat others right, and make sure you just do the right thing, so to speak. That's how I was raised. So that being said, I had to examine my own heart, because I could have became like some kind of just mean-spirited person. I could have became that, I'm telling you. But what I did was I kept a distance with those 2 individuals. Of course, I'm not friends with them anymore in that order. But I learned something from that experience, and what I learned was I cannot allow myself to become rotten. I cannot allow myself to become bitter, because if I become less and not show my best self after I go through something like that, then I do a disservice to myself. And that's another type of disloyalty, right? So, and as I mentioned earlier, revenge as well. Because when you're trying to get somebody back after they did something wrong to you, you're only hurting yourself. Right, Jackie? What you think?
Absolutely. I personally have never felt the emotion of revenge. I feel very fortunate when I hear other people talk about it that I've never felt that way about anyone. I've never wanted to hurt anyone for any reason.
Wow.
But so I can't personally relate to that. What I relate to in the sense of betrayal and someone being disloyal is emotionally shutting down, not lashing out. I went the opposite way of the lashing out. I was not taking revenge on anyone. I kind of shut down and just went alone. I pulled myself away from all of my friends. I buried myself into just working and being a mother. I didn't associate with other people. I felt everything that I believed about people that I loved wasn't real, so I couldn't trust myself to trust other people. My judgment was off.
Yeah.
I felt that I was.
Yeah. Revenge can be very dangerous. So when you feel that emotion, it can be very, very dangerous. I can honestly say, I think I may have felt it, but I've never acted on it, because when those two people did what they did to me, my mindset was like, okay, I'm just going to just let this go because I got other things to think about, right? So I just let it go. But disloyalty can take place in any kind of relationship, a romantic relationship, a marriage, a friendship. Our children can be disloyal. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Your relatives, your sisters, brothers, parents.
Yeah.
Your own parent can be disloyal to you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's devastating when you have relationships with people that you trust and they pull something like that on you.
Yeah, yeah. Disloyalty is something, like I said, it's something sometimes people don't want to talk about, because I believe that if a person is disloyal, sometimes they justify it. I've been around people, they're disloyal to friends, disloyal to family members, disloyal to coworkers. They don't keep their word. They're just disloyal. And so when you bring it up, they kind of just act like they don't hear you. You know what I mean? They act like, oh, I don't hear you, like that word is some kind of foreign word or something, disloyalty. But there are so many benefits in being loyal. And so when we make a conscious decision to be loyal to our friends, loyal to our partners, husbands, wives, children, family members, when we make a conscious decision to be loyal, then what happens is we as, I'll say it like this. As individuals, we reap the benefits. We reap the benefits to be loyal when we are consistently loyal, even in secret, because being loyal doesn't always mean you're loyal publicly, right? Loyalty could mean, when that person is not present, guess what? You protect them. What do you think about that, Jackie? No.
Absolutely. Loyalty is definitely what you do when no one's looking.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Loyalty is a part of the heart. Just as disloyalty is a part of the heart too, because basically in that moment, whatever the situation is, that individual gets to decide if they want to be loyal, or disloyal. So no matter what you choose, it's a decision that comes from the heart. And when you decide to be loyal, like I said, you will reap the benefits of just being loyal to that person, whoever it is. And it's you're filling yourself up with integrity also when you do that, because if you are loyal to someone one time, it will be easier to be loyal to them the next time, right? So,
right.
It builds upon itself. That's what I believe. I mean, I know, somebody else might have something to add to that, but I'm sure that when you're loyal to someone, you can build upon it, especially in a committed relationship. Go ahead.
Well, not all of our relationships are, we should not expect loyalty in all of our relationships. So,
No.
So what is loyalty? It's a supportive relationship. It's an allegiance, an alliance. It's a trust and an area that you have your connection with your people.
Yes.
That you're closest to. It's not, you can have 50 friends and you don't feel loyalty to all 50 of these people.
No, not at all.
It's a special place where you feel the loyalty.
Yeah, it's different.
It's not with everyone.
Right. It's different levels and measures, because it has to do with the type of relationship it is, whether it's just an association or intimate relationship, up close or distant. All those things play a part. But what it comes down to is trust. Do you trust this person that you are keeping company with? Do you trust this person that's in your house? There's I believe that for myself personally, I don't get up close to people that I don't trust. And when I mean get up close, I'm talking about, like, if I invite you to my home, that means I have a measure of trust. Right? So I can share things with you. I can talk to you a certain way because, I trust you. That doesn't mean that I want you to be dedicated to me because you're in my home.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
From my personal experience, what I learned, which mine was about 15 years ago, what I learned is to be a character-driven person, meaning that the people I surround myself with, I look for character and integrity.
Yes, there you go.
Now, a lot of people think, use integrity as a moral compass.
Right.
Moral is subjective to the parties involved. So to me, integrity is your congruency from what you say and what you do. So if you are aware of the people that you surround yourself with closely, and you make sure that these are character-driven people,
right,
and these are people with integrity, these are people who, when they say they're going to do something, they actually do it. They say they don't like something, and then they go do what they don't like. These are things that should, maybe you shouldn't stop being their friend, but it should give you pause. It should give you question. It should say, well, maybe I need to step back and put this person at an arm's length and not have them as close to me, because now you're in danger of being betrayed, of disloyalty.
Right.
You are responsible only for your own character, your own integrity, but you also are 100% responsible for the people you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
When I was a kid, I grew up in the South. There's all kinds of Southern sayings. You lay with dogs, you get up with fleas. So, that was something that, your mom would say, don't be hanging out with those kids. You lay with dogs, you get up with fleas. Yeah. You just got to be careful of who you're around. Yeah. And you got to be more, I'm a person who I like to see the best in everyone. Yes. But when it comes to the people that are within arm's length of me, I might have to push you back a little further if I don't see something in now today, not me 15 years ago, but the me today is going to be more protective of my inner space.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that for me, I expect loyalty if there has been a mutual exchange of some type of investment. I expect some type of loyalty, because if I take the time to invest in you, and in some way or another, you probably invest in me too, in some way. Right. But if we mutually invest in one another, I expect some type of loyalty because I have taken my time and my energy to, and assets to invest in this person. So yeah, in that type of situation, I expect some level of loyalty because in that type of scenario, there's a friendship, right?
But SB, hold on. So you have a friend, you've invested, you feel they've invested in you, but now just because you've invested in each other does not mean that that person is going to be loyal to you. You still have to objectively look at their character. What is their history? How does this person behave? You can't just expect loyalty just because somebody loves you. Because you can love me with all your heart and still step on me.
Well, the thing is this. You got to understand this. There's a reciprocal to everything that we do, right? And you get to pick and choose. So my reason for expecting some level of loyalty is the reciprocal. The people that I have in my life, I can expect that level of loyalty. I should say a level of loyalty. I can expect that because of the type of people that I deal with. Right. So, you're talking about character. You're talking about picking and choosing. Right. Once you get past a certain point in my life, as far as friendship or anybody, association, business, there is a circle of integrity. There is a circle of what I call goodness. I don't allow certain people to get that close to me in that order. Right. So what I'm saying is, the people that I have in my life up close, there's a reciprocal, and that's just it. So in that type of scenario, yes, there should be some level of loyalty. Right. That's just like if you look at Gail and Oprah, right? Over the years of their friendship, they have mutually invested in one another. And because they have mutually invested in one another over a certain amount of time, there's a certain level of trust. And with that trust, there is loyalty. So that's what I'm talking about. You don't just become friends with somebody or have people in your company and then expect them to be loyal, or know them for a certain amount of time and expect them to be loyal, because people are going to be who they are and you can't trust everybody. But what I'm saying is, when you have a mutual relationship, there's an exchange, and you have spent time with this person, you know this person's character, they know yours, you work together, there's some type of consistent exchange. And over time, you just develop that. You expect that. Like, I have a friend that lives in California, and we've been knowing each other for more than 10 years. I don't know how many years exactly, but it's been more than 10 years. Because we have invested so much in one another, there's a certain level of loyalty that I expect from her, and there's a certain level of loyalty that she expects from me. And that's it. Now, somebody that I haven't known long, or somebody that I just speak to on a whim or whatever, guess what? I don't expect that from them. Because if you expect somebody to be loyal to you without that mutual investment, you set yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
So, but some people expect others to be loyal to them without even trying their character or learning about who they're dealing with. They just, some people just, and I say that because I know some people that are like that. They just expect people to be loyal to them. You know what I mean? Just because, and that's crazy, because that's not what we're supposed to do. I think that relationships are... Loyalty is earned. It's earned, and relationships with are your shaped. Investments. Mm-hmm. Right. Relationships are shaped over time, and what you invest in relationships, that's what you can expect from relationships. What you invest. Right. And so, but yeah, loyalty is it's a very important virtue. And disloyalty, I believe the person that's just plain old disloyal and they just go around just, hurting those that they say they love, I believe that person has a personal issue. I think that they have something going on within themselves that need to be resolved. And if they want to be disloyal, okay, they can be disloyal if they want to be disloyal. But like I said earlier, we all desire loyalty. That's just our human nature. We all desire goodness. We all desire someone to be good to us as we are good to them, right? And so that's what it's all about. And so we should treat people the way we want to be treated. As I always say, be the love that you want to receive. If you want to be loved a certain way, if you want to be treated a certain way, then be that first. And then when you become the thing that you want, then you will be on the receiving end. So, but we live in a time right now, Jackie, where some people just don't even believe in loyalty anymore. What'd you say?
Well, I think there's a lot of disconnect with people, absolutely. And as you were saying about the investing in each other, I believe we live in a society now where personal relationships are disposable. There's very little loyalty amongst people. You meet people, you are friends with them for 20 minutes, it feels like, and then they're gone. Wow. Where did they go? It's just I feel like our world and the way people's attitudes are is that people are disposable.
Yeah, I think people just don't value one another. There was a time where people just, I grew up seeing people just value one another,
Right.
Now it just seems like because we are in a generation where everything has a microwavable type of vehicle, people just, they don't value each other no more.
Well, there's a disconnect in the personal relationship. Everything is done online, on your phone, and there's not a lot of face-to-face now. People, you go to work, you go home, you don't spend time with others.
Yeah. We should.
I mean, there's a comedian that talks about how when he was a kid, somebody knocked on the door and everybody in the house was like, "Oh, somebody's here! Yay, we have a visitor!" You open the door, who is it? Let them in. They come in, they visit. Now, somebody knocks on the door, everybody ducks. Don't answer the door. Let's pretend we're not home. But it's true. We disconnect from people, the personal interactions.
Yeah, that is real. Well, I've been like that all my life.
That is real, though.
What you just described, I've been like that all my life. You come over my house and you don't call.
I know, but when I was a kid, people would knock on the door. My dad was going to invite them in. Oh, come on in.
Yeah, that is true. That is so true.
Let me make you a drink. Would you like a snack?
Yeah, we just living in such a bizarre time. But being loyal is beneficial, and being disloyal, guess what? You reap what you sow, and it's better to be loyal than disloyal. I just believe that.
Absolutely. Of course it is. But we have to be selective on who we give our trust to.
Yes.
Who we expect to be loyal to us.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Because some people can't even, they don't have the capacity to give what you have. You know what I'm saying? That too, I noticed that if I meet people that may not have experienced a certain level of goodness, they might think I'm weird. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if they've been around certain people that have treated them wrong all of their life, and then all of a sudden, you're around somebody that treats you really good, and they look at you like, oh, something's up with her. They can't even trust you because they're not used to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But, I just wanted to talk about this topic a little bit because I was thinking about it earlier. And I was also discussing the topic with a friend of mine a couple of days ago because we were talking about why people cheat, why. Someone said people cheat because in romantic relationships because they just make a decision. I disagreed. I said people cheat because they have personal issues that they're dealing with. They make a choice, yes, but the root cause is the personal issue. So,
well, yes, I think that it has nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with the partner. It has to do with the person who's doing the cheating.
mm-hmm.
And I think that there's whatever
mm-hmm.
their reason, whatever happened in that specific relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It was something that they needed to fill in themselves.
Yeah. 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 So loyalty connects with faithfulness, commitment, dedication, and disloyalty is everything opposite of that. We all know that. So, but is there anything else you want to share, Jackie?
No, I did want to ask you about how do you recover from someone being disloyal to you, someone betraying you? How do you personally handle that?
Well, I'll say this.
And would you handle it different today than you did 20 years ago when you were so severely betrayed?
Well, you know what? I was betrayed. I would say probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. Someone I trusted, and I found out something that wasn't good. I'd rather not say what it is, but
sure.
But what I did was this. I recognized that that individual had their own personal issues. And once I realized what I was dealing with, I had to question my choices as well as evaluating who that person was at the time. But to get over or heal from someone being disloyal to you is first you have to forgive, and you have to have a different mindset about how to move forward and not focus on what happened, because if you focus on what happened, then you won't be able to move forward. But you have to move forward as quick as you can, and then in that process you have to love yourself and know that it wasn't a reflection of you. It was a reflection of the other person. You have to remember that, because when someone has been treated severely bad and they experience disloyalty, what happens is some people blame themselves, and you can't do that. You can't blame yourself.
Right.
So for me, what I did was I made a decision to move forward. I think I went shopping. I took myself to dinner. I did a couple of things, I jumped in my car and rode down the highway, and I had a smile on my face. My heart was broken, but I was just like, you know what? I got to keep it moving. And, I had my feelings about it and my thoughts, but in that whole process, I had to just go inward to love myself and just remember that what that person did, it had nothing to do with me, because I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm capable of providing and creating when it comes to all kinds of relationships. I try to strive to just be a decent person. I'm not a perfect person, of course, but I try to be a decent person. And so that being said, I had to just remember what that person did. It had no reflection of me. And so that's how I got past it quickly. I'm trying to tell you. I looked in the mirror and I said, all right, now it's time to get dressed and it's time to go out and have a good time. And it's time to move forward. And that's what I did. Maybe over like a 7-day period, I,
wow,
treated myself.
Congratulations.
Yes, I surely did. Oh, yes, I did. And you know what? In that process also, you know what? I had to remember, I kept telling myself, I said, you know what? God has blessed my life so much. He has, when I look around and I think about like so many things that I have gone through and how, God has given me the strength and the grace to just keep going. I had to look at myself and I said, you know what? And I'm not saying this out of conceit. I'm saying this out of confidence and praise to God. I had to tell myself, you know what? I'm a blessed woman. I'm blessed. So when I looked at myself in the mirror, I said, okay, it's time to, get to going, go to Macy's, go do what I got to do, and just take care of me. And that's what I did. And I felt so good. That was an awesome feeling, when I got myself dressed and did whatever. I was just like, okay, time to go. Jumped in the car and I had a smile on my face. So that's how I got through. Yep. So,
that's awesome.
Yes, indeed. So
it takes that was what you did this last time. That was about 5 or 6 years ago, you said?
Mm-hmm. Probably about
this
7, 6 years ago. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, I think it also takes evolution of your soul to get to a point where you're capable of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is emotionally evolved enough to have the strength to just move on in 7 days. And I think that's wonderful. I think it's admirable that you are able to do that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I did have the feelings of, wow, this happened. I mean, I went through all of that. But I think that
you've learned how to move on. You've learned how to do that.
Yeah.
Not everyone has. I mean, a lot of people listening may not be in that situation where they could recover that quickly,
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I think if the same thing happened to me today, I hope I would handle it completely differently than I did 15 years ago. I hope I've evolved.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But a lot of people may not be in that situation. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to get through.
No, it's not easy at all. But see, the thing is this, and I'll say this to you listeners. If you're going through something and you're dealing with someone that's disloyal, or you've been, dealing with betrayal in some kind of way, the best thing to do is you got to love yourself. You have to understand your own self-worth. And I think for me, I try to practice that. And that's why and how I bounce back. Because when you recognize your own self-worth, then you will bounce like a ball quick. I'm telling you.
Right.
You got to go inward. Because if you focus on what that person did more than you focus on who you are and what you're capable of doing and who you are as an individual, if you focus on the incident and not you, then guess what? You will devalue yourself all over again. So don't do that. Don't do that. You got to focus on who you are and remember that what that person did, it has nothing to do with you. You were just part of it when they acted a fool. So you got to move forward and love yourself and remember your own self-worth. That's it. And when you do that, guess what? You just get happy because all of us have great potential to look in the mirror and do something different. What'd you say, Jackie?
Absolutely. 100%.
That's right.
Absolutely right.
That's right. So we're going to wrap it up. And so, listeners, I thank you once again for tuning in to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Please share the podcast with others. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sbfavor. I also have a YouTube channel. Please click like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And make sure you click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there is a new episode of SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Once again, please share the podcast with others. I appreciate you listeners. You have a good day.